Hello everybody, Ian Maddox. It's a beautiful day here in Trussville, Alabama, and I'm connecting with you on the HMFP Financial Planning Simplified video series. And today you'll see we're in a little bit different environment, sitting in the conference room, and I have my handy dandy dry erase marker. Yesterday we sent out an article that talked about investment risk, and we can think about risk in a very simplistic way, which is the risk of losing something, right? And going down in value from an investment standpoint. Risk really is kind of the volatility of something. And there's lots of elements that play into risk. It could be interest rate risk, it could be default risk, it could be international risk, it could be a lot of different things. Just price risk, that a particular investment goes down in value. A lot of things play into the idea of risk, but ultimately, the final definition is that I've lost something. There is, however, a risk that is very rarely spoken about. We have talked to our clients about it many times, both Richard and I, over the years, but I realize that I've never really talked about it on this video series, and I don't know how often it gets disseminated out to the public. And that risk is something called sequence of returns. So let's start with some definitions. First of all, sequence, the order in which something happens. Return, what we get back from something. So in this case, if I invest, I'm hoping that I have a positive return, but sometimes we can have periods of time, as we know, in the markets. Today, for example, markets can be down, markets can be up. So the return is what we get over and over time. The sequence is the order that we get it. So here's why this is important to understand. And I'm going to use the dry erase board here. Let's use a W for working years and an R for retired years, okay? I've stopped working. And I'm going to draw a line down the middle. And we're going to measure just a 10-year period. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So during our working years, we're going to make an assumption for the purpose of this example, and that is that you're putting money into some type of savings vehicle, a 401k, an IRA, a taxable account. In some capacity, you're setting money aside for the future. So over here, money's coming in. We'll hold off on the retirement side here for a second. So let's just write down some figures here. Minus 10. This is now returns on the market. Minus 2. Plus 16. Plus 3. Plus 8. Minus 27, minus 2, plus 30, plus 1, and we'll say the last year it's flat. Nothing happens. It just kind of stays there. You can see that these come in a sequence, right? There's an order, a 10-year order that these come. Let me tell you, though, as we're in our working years, I'm putting money into a savings vehicle, so I'm dollar cost averaging. I'm just putting it in. So here I'm buying stuff less expensive, more expensive, more expensive, more expensive, less expensive. You get it as I put money in. It does not make any difference. I could take all of the positive returns, put them at the bottom, put them in the middle, put all the negative returns at the end. I can turn this whole thing topsy-turvy. And no matter how I run the math, I can still get an average rate of return over that 10-year period. It's exactly the same. Makes no difference, okay? So I'm putting money in, rates of return go all over the map. My average rate of return down here at the bottom is going to stay the same. Make sense? All right. No problem there at all. We're good. Here's where the risk of sequence returns really comes in. And I'm going to erase this side. Actually, I'll leave that up, and I'm going to come over here to the retirement side. Let's say, for example, that this scenario, okay? So you've worked for 10 years. Now we're going to hop over here, and this is year 1, right? We're just going to take these years over. This is now year 1 of retirement. Minus 10, minus 2, okay? I'm not even going to run this whole thing out. Let's just say, we keep this going, that's fine. These years just come over, plus 8, all the way down to the bottom. The difference between over here and over here is that now we're retired and we're taking money out of the account. So, let's say that we're taking 5% per year out of our portfolio. Year 1, the market is down 10%. But wait a minute, I'm taking 5% out, right? This is coming out of the account. So technically speaking, I wake up after 1 year of retirement and my portfolio is down 15%. Sequence of returns is critically important in retirement because if you have some negative years on the front end, you may find that your portfolio value does this and it's not recoverable, we would have to have substantial increased rates of return somewhere down here to get back what we've lost. And so when you think about risk, it's not just up and down. There's also this idea of, wait a minute, can I recover from this? I'm not putting money in, I'm putting money out. And so that exacerbates whatever the return is. How do you avoid this? Well, you can't completely avoid it. You can be aware of it, and you can structure your portfolio, particularly in the last couple of years before retirement, and then when you get over here to this phase, to be more conservative, to be more income-oriented, to avoid some of those more significant market swings. So this is an important thing to understand, particularly for folks that are nearing retirement and those that are in retirement, is that sequence of returns is very important. Over here, not so much. Over here, very important. So I'll leave you with that thought process. If we can ever do anything to be of help, give us a shout, connect on email, connect on the website. Until next time, Ian Maddox.